Well, I thought I'd give my testimony because my spiritual birthday was July 4th, and that was 25 years ago that we came along. Dave and I was going to City College, and there were brothers out in the quadrant where the fountain was, and they were handing out pamphlets. And I had gone to the Church of Christ. My grandparents and my mom was from Oklahoma, and so I knew about God. I knew about Jesus, and I had heard the the kids' stories, Noah's Ark, and all that kind of stuff. Um, but of course, I didn't know God at all. And anyway, I was walking along, and one of the brothers gave me a pamphlet, and he goes, "Do you know Mary?" He asked me my name, and I said Mary, and he said, "Do you know that's Jesus's mother's name?" And I was like, "Yes, I do know that." And I said, "Okay," and I just walked off. Dave's always been very into religious things, and he had never gone to church and everything, and I honestly just kind of floated along, and I never really saw God in my life at all. I just figured if he's there, he didn't look like he was doing much for me, and we just go our own ways, I guess, is what you just do whatever he's going to do, and I'll do what I do. And I gave the pamphlet to Dave, and he put it in an old Bible. And, I never thought about it again, actually. Um, and then Dave got up one day. He used to have real long hair, and he goes, "I need you to braid my hair." And I go, "Okay." So I braided his hair, and he goes, "I'm going to go to church. I'm going to this meeting." And he didn't ask me to go because we had gone to a couple of churches he was seeking. I went because we'd been together for 25 years, and we got into drugs and alcohol together. So I figured, if he wants to do this, okay. Um, but he didn't ask me to go. He went, and then he came home, and on Tuesday, he got his hair all cut off. It was real long, and he got it all cut off. And I was going, well, okay, he's got a haircut. He was very uh, happy about going to the Revival Fellowship, and he liked it. And he said that was the place that it was home for him. And then he went on Wednesday, and he didn't tell me he was getting baptized or anything. He went and got baptized. And then Friday, he went and did something. I don't know. And then I started thinking, where is he going? Why is he spending so much time? He keeps saying he's going to these meetings and everything. And so I just thought, well, I'm going to check it out and see what's going on. If he's in a cult and all that, we'd gone through drug addiction and alcohol and stuff that I just couldn't handle another weird thing in our life. So I went to the meeting, and I really liked what I saw. I come from a real dysfunctional background, so I was very suspicious and wasn't sure what's going on, and wasn't sure if they were really real or not. But it seemed so, and it looked good. So I would come with Dave on Sundays, and then I would leave after the first meeting. So I kind of had one foot in the fellowship and one foot in the world. And I was praying to receive the Holy Spirit. And I had gotten baptized when I was 13 in the Church of Christ, but I got baptized again by full immersion at the hall. And I didn't receive the Holy Spirit, of course. I wasn't really, I was praying for it, but I wasn't really praying with my heart or knowing that's what I wanted. And I knew about the Pentecostal speaking in tongues and stuff, the holy rollers, whatever. And I was real hesitant about that kind of thing. I didn't want to speak in tongues. I wanted to receive the Spirit. I guess maybe I just wanted everything on my own terms and not God's terms. so something happened, and and it was a pretty significant thing in Dave and I's relationship. And I saw a total change. I knew he did a physical change. I saw the haircut in the Bible and the praying and all that. But after this thing happened, I saw the change in his man, in his whole, he wasn't the same man that I knew of 25 years. He was totally different. And that is when I saw that, that was when I really knew that there was something, to it, and that I really needed to start seeking for myself. So I went into my bedroom July 4th and got on my knees and prayed for the Holy Spirit and said, God, I don't want to speak in tongues, but if that's part of your plan and that's being filled with your spirit, then okay. And about 5 minutes later, it was a real quiet, comforting thing. It wasn't a big explosion or fireworks or anything like that I had expected. It was very calm and comforting. It was like my getting a hug from someone that loved me, and the peace was put back in my soul. And yes, and I spoke in tongues. My husband's coaching me over here. We have been in the Lord for 25 years, but anyway, I did speak in tongues, and it was just miraculous. So we've had quite a few things in our 25 years. I got filled with the Spirit, and then 11 days later, my son hung himself, killed himself. That was really traumatic. Of course, Dave wanted to leave the fellowship, and he didn't want to pray anymore. And I was like, oh, hold on, wait a minute. I just received the Holy Spirit. We need to hold on a minute and let's keep praying. He didn't want to pray. So I called Pastor Dave, and he and Alice came right over the fellowship, and Pastor Dave and Alice just came around us and uplifted us and upheld us, and we had no money, and they helped us with the funeral, and it was really an amazing thing. How God works, where I needed to be filled with His Spirit so that Dave had time to heal a bit and to realize that it wasn't God that did it. That was our son's choice. So he never quit coming to the meetings and everything. He just wouldn't pray. But we've had quite a few of my family come and go, and my grandkids come and go, and my daughter. But he's just been faithful to us. We had nothing. We lived in this we existed, and the Lord has given us more than we've ever asked, or more abundant than we ever should. We've been able to go overseas to the fellowships overseas and go to camps, and that is such a huge blessing, to be able to fellowship with our other brothers and sisters in the world. Sometimes when you're in a small fellowship, you start feeling like it's kind of isolated because we're in the States. But when you can get out and see the work that God has done in the world in our fellowship, it's just amazing. The speed that He healed our broken hearts. My sister called me one time, and she was furious because we were not sad and unhappy and crying all the time because of our son, because the Lord healed us of that. And she was just furious that we shouldn't be like that. And I explained to her why. It was miraculous the way the Lord dealt with that. And He's just been so absolutely good to us. Dave and I were married 25 years in the world, and now we've been married 25 years in the Lord. And of course, the 25 years in the Lord has been lots better. It has really shown us how to have a marriage. And okay, I'll leave it there.